This program is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to treat, diagnose, or cure any illness. Please speak with your doctor when starting a new health program.
Hello to everyone from wherever you're listening. Welcome to Wellness Talk. This is the show that goes over the latest in health and healing, nutrition, fitness, supplement recommendations, and all the stuff we can do to, of course, as I always say, take control of our health and make better choices and live happier lives in general. So glad you guys could be with me this week. And just a couple of housekeeping things. Again, you guys can go to platinumnutritionals.com if you want to read the articles. You can also go to Facebook at Platinum Nutritionals. That also has the articles that I go over every week. And if you like us on YouTube, if you're listening on YouTube, obviously click that like button and make some comments if you like as well. And let me know what you like about it, and let me know if there's any specific supplements or any specific things you want me to go over. Be happy to do so. All right. And by the way, if you guys have a question for me, you can go to support@platinumnutritionals.com. And, I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Maybe I'll answer them on the air, or I'll just answer them personally to you, depending on how you want to handle that. All right. So this week, we're going to talk about melatonin. How to get some better sleep and how melatonin can help you and what melatonin does. Melatonin is kind of a misunderstood nutrient, and a lot of people just think it's for one thing, but it actually does many things. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and why you need it. We're also going to talk about kids and nutrition, and this is for you parents out there. Why kids need nutrition for immunity and daily wellness. And this is from Wellness Resources, Linda Doberstein. Great article on kids and nutrition and how we can keep them healthy, especially with, all the viruses and things that are going on these days. So, and time permitting, I'm going to just talk about supplements in general and why we need them. And I'm going to make a case for them. If not, I'll do it next time. So, that's what's on tap this week. Let's get started. So first, let's talk about kids. Kids nutrition for immunity and daily wellness. Again, this is from Wellness Resources, Linda Doberstein. Now, as a parent of a teenager, 14-year-old, I can really identify with all the parents out there who have such a difficult time getting their kids to eat well, getting their kids to take vitamins, getting their kids to do pretty much anything healthy. We all know that it's very difficult. Now, I've been in the health and, fitness industry for many, many years. My daughter pretty much has grown up with me, in this industry. And even with that, it has been a chore to make sure she's getting the right nutrition and she's eating good stuff. And, and there's variations because obviously when, you don't want to be a taskmaster and your kids hate you because you're trying to feed them kale. You know what I mean? It's you don't want to do that. So you want to leave some room for activity, and you want to leave some room for some fun, obviously, because I like to have fun too. We like to have fun in my house as well. So, but you want them to grow up healthy. So let's talk about it. Now, malnutrition in America. So during this whole pandemic, first of all, it was found that adults commonly gained more weight due to less activity and greater intake of comfort foods, obviously, because of everything that's going on. Now, children, especially, the younger they are, the harder it is, tend to choose calorie-rich processed foods that fill them up. But the problem with these foods is that they're not nutritionally adequate. So this is where you get the problem, right? You have foods with all these added sugars, food colorings, manufactured substances, all these types of things. And this actually creates malnutrition. Why? Because number one, your kids are growing. right? Your kids are growing, and a growing child needs nutrition. Because again, remember, nutrition is what your body runs on, right? Vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, protein, all these things is the building blocks of your child growing up. Okay, so your child needs these on a regular basis, more than adults actually. Okay, so the problem is that children these days are not doing it. And here's the issue. Parents tend to not want to argue with their kids, or parents have bad diets themselves, and their children are watching what they eat and watching what they do. Now, it was said to me before I was a father, and it's so true. Your children or your child will not necessarily do what you say, but they will do what you do. And this is where we start to get into genetics, right? Because really what genetics is, for the most part, is when you're passing down a lifestyle from the parent to the child, to their child, to that child, to that child, okay? So we want to try to break that cycle, okay? So now, the CDC recommends that children 10 years of age or older be checked for heart disease, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and obesity. Now, keep in mind that these conditions were only seen in adults. Okay, I mean, literally 50 years ago, these things were unheard of in children. And now we're seeing kids being put on diabetes medication, metformin, right? Because of blood sugar. Why? Because nowadays these kids are obese. Many kids are obese. Many kids are overweight. They're sitting in front of their TV. They're sitting playing video games. They're not getting active. Okay, and these doctors are, I'm sure they're well intentioned, but at the end of the day, they should be recommending these kids, do activities and eat well. But of course, again, easier said than done, right? Here's the issue. And what I found with even my daughter, you got to start early. You've got to start early. You've got to start literally when they're toddlers, because the problem is once they hit certain ages, 7, 10, 12, 14 years old, that train has left the station. It's much harder to get them to eat well when they're older than when you start them when they're young, okay? So that's one of my recommendations. You got to start early. You got to make a plan when you're having a child, or when you have, when a child comes out, or whatever the case may be, is to say, okay, here you go. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do 50-50, we're going to do 80-20 or whatever it is, but have your nutrition ratios, let them have some fun, but at the same time, let them know that you are going to eat healthy food. And as parents, eat healthy food yourself, okay? So, that's also, again, them watching you and watch what you do. If you're consistent and you have them follow what you do, eventually things will kick in, okay? Now, keep in mind also that, you want your child to get at least 75% of the diet in whole foods rather than the standard American diet, right? Even with the best diet and the good intentions, children, infants to 18 years, may lack key nutrients. And I've seen it, okay? Iron, zinc, vitamin D, vitamin A, many other nutrients. So what are the nutrients that children need right now, okay? First one is iron. Iron is the most common nutrition deficiency in the world, and it affects 2 billion people worldwide, especially children. And, obviously, iron is extremely important, because if you don't have it, what happens? There's a lot of issues that happen, right? You get tired, you get irritable, muscle cramps, poor hair growth, poor nail growth, ridges on the nails, frequent colds. All these different types of things can happen to your child if they're lacking iron, okay? Sufficient iron is essential for growth and development, and absolutely critical for immune function. Now, keep in mind that iron affects B cell and T cell function, and it's also required for immune cells like macrophages to fight against germs, okay? Other things that, animal proteins, like red meat, liver, dark meat, poultry, all the fish, eggs, dairy, that type of thing, they contain a lot of iron. Now, yes, you want to be careful. You don't want to overdo these things with your child as well, okay? But at the same time, you do want them to get enough. So I never recommend a vegetarian or vegan diet to a child because they're in the growing phase. Okay, that's my recommendation. Once they're 18 years old or over, if they want to become a vegetarian or vegan, that's on them. But I always recommend eating good fish, good lean proteins. Try to get the greens into them as much as you can. Now the recommended daily allowance for iron for children 7 months to 18 years is 7 to 15 milligrams per day. Okay, so keep that in mind. Next nutrient that is important for children is zinc. Zinc is critical, especially for immune function. Zinc provides it's very important with managing intruders and challenges of all sorts. Okay, zinc helps the production of various white blood cells, cell-mediated function, and it also works inside cells. It works to repair, impair replication of germs. Okay, and we're seeing this now, obviously, with pandemic and all these types of things. What are a lot of people talking about? Zinc. Okay, you lose zinc when you're sick. Okay, you want to replace zinc. By the way, zinc is as an aside, zinc is one of the things that you lose. If you lose enough zinc, it affects your smell, taste and smell. Okay, it's essential for taste and smell. So keep in mind, all those who had COVID and lost zinc lost taste and smell. So we want to replace zinc. That's why zinc is critically important with viruses and these types of things. Okay, so again, your children need zinc. Okay, again, meats have zinc. Okay, many of the meats, fish, legumes, nuts, legumes, dairy, vegetables, those types of things, poultry, all those things have good amounts of zinc. Next is vitamin A. Vitamin A is a crucial antioxidant and inflammatory. It helps to modulate inflammatory cytokines in your respiratory system. Okay, it's critical. Again, with COVID and all these things going on. Okay, it's critical to have enough vitamin A. Now, vitamin A, the bioactive vitamin A, is found in animal foods like liver, cod liver, eggs, dairy products, and fish. So if your child is a picky eater and has eliminated dairy and eggs due to, obviously, or maybe there's an elimination, obviously maybe they're allergic to eggs or dairy or that type of thing, obviously they may be lacking in vitamin A. So this is where you may have to supplement, okay? So just, keep these things in mind, okay? But, again, vitamin A, critically important for children. And the last one is vitamin D, okay? We all know about vitamin D, right? I mean, what doesn't vitamin D do, right? It boosts your immune system, okay? It helps against, and keep in mind, all these things can be used also against if you have COVID or if you want to try to lower your chances of getting any kind of reaction with COVID or vaccines or whatever the case may be. All these nutrients help that, especially with your kids. Okay, so just keep those things in mind. Vitamin D, extremely important. It's required to activate glutathione, which is the master antioxidant system in your body. All right, critically important. So what do we recommend? Wellness Resources, as always, is my go-to supplement company for the most part. Okay, they have what's called a Super Mini Multi. Okay, it's a highly absorbable nutrient for daily wellness, and it contains iron, zinc, and vitamin A. And it's a great place to start for children, roughly 2 to 12. Now, it comes in capsule form, and they're pretty small. So if you can have your child swallow these, it would be great. Teach them how to swallow a vitamin or whatever the case may be. But if they can't, and my daughter had problems for many, many years trying to swallow, what you do is you pull it apart and you can put it in whatever it is they're eating or their drink or their applesauce or whatever it is, okay? So that's something that you can do. But get these nutrients in the children. Other things they can use is coral calcium, grapeseed extract, Immune Plus, daily protein, and Relax Mag. These are all things that are, and also the vitamin D, which these are all supplements in Wellness Resources. And if you go to myvitaminresource.com, I'll make sure the link is in the description. check those out there. Wellness Resources is one of the best, if not the best company on the planet when it comes to proper nutrition. So anyway, just some tips for you parents out there who want to get your kids, I know it's a chore. I know it's tough. And by the way, I let my daughter have 2 sweets a day, and that's it. And we've been doing that since she's probably 4 or 5 years old. And she's 14 now, and she's so used to it, it's not even a big deal now, okay? But this way she gets her fun, but at the same time, I can pull back the reins a little bit and make sure, she's not overdoing it. So check it out. All right, next, we're going to talk about melatonin. This is an article by Dr. Isadora Guggenheim, okay? Melatonin. So, a lot of people talk about, melatonin. Many people talk about, obviously, they can't sleep. They tried melatonin, doesn't work, or whatever the case may be. Let's talk a little bit about what melatonin is, first of all. Melatonin is a hormone. It's made in several parts of the body. And melatonin receptors exist all over your body. Now, the issue is as you get older, melatonin decreases. So the way it works is you have serotonin in your body, okay? And from serotonin, melatonin is eventually secreted in your brain in response to darkness. So when things get dark, let's say your room gets dark, or you turn off the lights and that type of thing at night, your body's ready to go to bed, that's melatonin starting to kick in to kind of, rest your body. So that's why it's very important to make sure you're sleeping in the dark. Try not to sleep with the TV on if at all possible. I know a lot of people do, but if you can help it, try not to do that. But melatonin gets secreted in the evening hours at that time. Now, melatonin is mainly known for improving sleep. However, but melatonin is also known for aiding the immune system. Okay, because why? It also acts as an antioxidant. It actually helps in the prevention of cancer and treats some cancers. It actually helps in decreasing the risk of heart disease and more. Okay, it also has several therapeutic benefits. It lowers. It is shown to lower cardiovascular risks, protects against neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. There's been huge studies on this. Okay, huge studies. It helps to regulate insulin. It helps. It synchronizes the body's circadian rhythm. Okay, when you're going to sleep. It even helps in gastrointestinal functioning. Melatonin, the hormone that your own body secretes, does all that. Okay, that's why melatonin is absolutely important. Okay, so again, remember, melatonin is not something you take externally because you don't have it. Your body makes it. Your body makes it. The problem is, as you get older, your body makes less of it. So if you're having problems sleeping when you get older, you want to try to, take some melatonin to help you out. Now, melatonin deficiency, can be an issue as you get older. So, and by the way, melatonin can be found in many foods: corn, peanuts, rice, black and green tea, strawberry, broccoli, and much more. Okay. So keep those things in mind, but obviously the amounts in that food is going to be very small. So again, if you're finding yourself restless or needy, or you find yourself with you think you have a melatonin deficiency, you're having problems sleeping, then I would suggest getting a good melatonin supplement. Okay. Now, here's the issue with melatonin, and this is my suggestion when you're taking it. If you've never taken melatonin before, you want to start out at very small levels. Why? Because if you take too much right away, the issue is, it'll put you to sleep. But the problem is it'll put you in such a deep sleep that when you wake up in the morning, some people tend to wake up drowsy. Okay, and that's happened to me in the past. Okay, where I may have taken too much melatonin and I wake up very, very drowsy. So you want to start small. So my suggestion would be, 0.5 milligrams or to 1 milligram of melatonin. Try that first, see how it goes. See if you can get to sleep, see if you wake up refreshed, and you kind of test it out. You want to test it. If you don't, if it doesn't work, then boost it up a little bit. Go from 1 milligram to 3 milligrams. That may be two melatonin that night. And just kind of play with it, and then you can find your sweet spot in there. But again, it's very, very important. And keep in mind that the dosages will change the older you get, okay? So, but, it's also, again, a fantastic antioxidant. So if you want to help prevent all kind of illnesses, check out melatonin, all right? Again, Wellness Resources has a wonderful melatonin that you can take. And they also have a great suggestion of how to take it, from starting out small and then gradually going up from there. Very, very important. There are many other things you can choose, and I'll go over some more of the other sleep aids as the podcast go along. But definitely check it out, because I think it's worth it for those who've never tried melatonin. Okay, so that's that. Now, really quickly on just why, and I get a lot of questions regarding supplements, because I'm considered a supplement expert. I've been dealing with supplements for many, many, many years, and I've partnered with many supplement companies for many years, and and I've helped clients all around the world with different types of supplements and helping them out. So, so I believe that everybody should be on at least a multivitamin. Why? Because the diet is extremely lacking in nutrients, period. I mean, extremely lacking in nutrients. That has to do with the soil things are grown on. That has to do with how well things are cooked, okay? And that has to do with gut health. Most people, gut health is terrible, okay? In this country especially, with all the processed foods that we're eating and everything, it's very, very difficult, if not impossible, to get all the nutrients you need from your diet. Okay. Now keep in mind, your body, the recommendation for, just throwing it out there, the recommendation for magnesium is 400 milligrams. Okay. Now magnesium affects 300 enzymes or 400 enzymes in your body. The recommendation for selenium is 200 micrograms. All right. The recommendation for B12 should be at least 100 micrograms to 300 micrograms or more, okay? A lot of people have B12 deficiency, okay? We can go on. I can go on and on. But what I'm saying is, in order to get those amounts, you would need to eat so much food, and it's just not practical, okay? Again, the food has to be cooked. Unless you're eating a raw diet, the food has to be cooked. The food, the way it's grown in the soil is just, it's devoid of nutrients these days, okay? And then once it gets into your system, only a certain amount of that is going to be absorbed. And if you don't have the right vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids in your system to do what they need to do, it is just a matter of time before something goes wrong. Blood pressure, blood sugar, autoimmune, you name it, okay? I'm telling you this. You need these nutrients, and the only way you're going to be able to get them is if you at least take a multivitamin. Start there. Take a multivitamin with your food every single day, okay? And keep in mind that when you get older, it doesn't get any better, right? Nutrients go down, okay? So you need. I've been taking a multivitamin, by the way, since I'm like 8 years old, because my mother used to put it next to me when I was eating. At that time, I had no idea why. I just did it because Mom told me to do it. But you know what? Mom knew what she was talking about at that time. So, multivitamin is important. Now, that's your basic. This is where you start. You start at the multivitamin, and you go up from there. If you're dealing with issues, then you bring in the other issues, okay? You bring in, whatever nutrients you need on top of that multivitamin. But the multivitamin is basic. That is the basic thing you need. So, that's one of the reasons we have to have these nutrients, because these nutrients, they partner with enzymes in your body to make things happen. That's how your body runs. It's as simple as that. Okay. These are the facts. Okay. So, keep that in mind when you're thinking about, should I have a multivitamin or should I not? Okay. Multivitamin is absolutely essential. Again, Wellness Resources, super multivitamin, the daily energy multivitamin. Those of you who are dealing with energy issues, those of you who want better cognitive function, check out that multivitamin. I'm telling you, it is fantastic, and I guarantee you're going to feel better in taking it, down the line. Okay. I'm going to go more into vitamins and multivitamins as we go along, because I'm going to tell you what vitamins are good for what. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be so much information. I'm going to give you so many nuggets that I not only do with myself and my family, but I have, working with clients all around the world. I have helped many, many people, and you will be shocked. You would be shocked at the things that people have recovered from using the proper protocols. Okay. So stay tuned for that, because it's going to be some really good stuff. So again, I want to thank you guys for being with me today. By the way, on Friday, I am going to be on a show. So check out our YouTube and check out our Facebook page. I'm going to be interviewed by CM and Fire Safety, which is on YouTube. We're going to talk about health. We're going to talk about healthcare workers and how to keep people healthy, mind, body, and spirit. So stay tuned for that. And till then, I hope everyone has a fantastic week. Take control of your health. Until next week, take care, everybody. See ya.